Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Breaking news for you from Somalia. For the last 3 days, we have been seeing flare up in tensions between the two countries, Ethiopia and Somalia. Around 3 days ago, Ethiopia signed a memorandum of understanding with Somaliland President Musi Abdi. The memorandum has not been made public, but the memorandum states that Ethiopia would have access to the sea. It would have a port in Somaliland for a period of 50 years on lease, and it will have a naval base too in Somaliland. And Somaliland authorities say that Ethiopia will recognize Somaliland as a country, and Ethiopia will give shares in Ethiopian Airlines to Somaliland. Ethiopia has not officially confirmed that it will recognize Somaliland. Somalia is reacting. Somalia is angry. Somalia has issued statements, and Somalia's efforts to counter Ethiopia are not just diplomatic efforts. Some military mobilization as well. We have received some details which are clear that Somalia is not sitting idle. A country faced with the multiple crises, fighting Al-Shabaab, relations between federation and regions very fragile. But the country seems to be uniting against Ethiopia. Now, when Ethiopia and Somaliland signed the MOU 3 days ago, which is just an MOU, not a deal. It will be signed in a month. It's just an MOU with no legal value of enforcement. We saw that Somalia issued a statement. An emergency meeting of Somali cabinet was held. President Hassan Sheikh addressed joint session of parliament. And then Somalia's friends spoke. Egypt issued a statement. We saw statements from other parties too. IGAD issued a statement which was rejected by Somalia's government. Somalia demanded apology from IGAD. African Union issued a similar statement. US spoke as well. OIC, Arab League, European Union, all have called for respect of Somalia's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Some have condemned Ethiopian government's MOU with Somaliland, but most have called for respect of Somalia's integrity, territorial integrity and sovereignty. Why? What does it mean? What do you mean when you say that there should be respect for Somalia's sovereign territorial integrity? It means that Ethiopia cannot recognize Somaliland. Somaliland is part of Somalia. That is what all say, which have issued statements of our countries, organizations. So Somalia is rallying global, regional public support to counter the upcoming move from Ethiopia when the MOU will take the form of a deal in coming days. Pressure from Somalia is not just diplomatic, political. Somalia's army chief has been seen talking to Somalia's Navy officers. We've received a clip which we're going to show you. Name of the military chief of Somalia is General Ibrahim Sheikh, Ras Ibrahim Sheikh. Somalia does not have a very strong and big military because just recently arms embargo on Somalia was lifted. It was put in place decades ago. And Somalia's forces are mainly being trained in other countries. Eritrea are training Somalia's forces, naval, ground forces. Egypt as well. Turkey trained too. UK as well. So different countries have been training and arming Somalia's forces because Somalia was under sanctions for decades, but the arms embargo has been lifted now. General Ibrahim Sheikh has been seen addressing Somalia's naval officers. What did he say? People might find his comments provocative, but other would say that what he's saying, it's self-defense. It's not provocation. What did General Ibrahim Sheikh say? A little, almost quote-unquote translation for you. Ibrahim Sheikh has been heard saying while he was addressing Somalia's naval officers, maybe at Navy headquarters. I'm not sure about the location of the video. Maybe he went to naval headquarters and there he addressed the Navy officers. He said that we can take internal enemies. It won't take long. Fixing internal enemies. Same is the case with external enemies as well. Second point, very meaningful, which he made. He said, the enemy who want to go to the sea will not take anything from us. Let me repeat. The enemy who wants to go to the sea will not take anything from us. Let the Navy prepare to defend the coast. Who is this enemy? Who wants to reach Somalia's coast? Obviously, no doubt that Ibrahim Sheikh is talking about Ethiopia. He is mobilizing Somalia's navy, which could be a small navy, a few boats, military also, not a big military, but Somalia is sending a very clear message. The general who has been leading the fight against Al-Shabaab is now visiting naval headquarters, telling Navy to make preparations against likely attempts by enemies, so-called, that is what he said, enemies to take over Somalia's coast. Very alarming development. It means that, firstly, Somalia's fight against Al-Shabaab is going to take a hit. Because if Somalia starts making preparations to defend from Ethiopian attempts to establish a military base, establish a port in Somaliland, it means that Somalia will have to divert its military assets towards the coast. Fight against Al-Shabaab will be affected. Very clear. Secondly, Somalia is making it clear through this messaging that it will resort to all means to thwart the upcoming deal between Ethiopia and Somaliland. And everything means everything. It's not that this issue, that just statements will be issued, that just diplomatic pressure will be exerted. No. Somalia is going to resort to other means too. We can talk about capabilities in some other video. What are the capabilities of Somalia's military? Capabilities of Somalia's navy. We can compare the capabilities of Somalia's military and Ethiopian military. What will Somaliland do? What are the capabilities of Somaliland's navy, air force? I don't think that Somaliland has an air force. What about the capabilities of Somaliland's ground forces as well? So these are very important questions which you'll see discussed in coming days. Overall, alarming development. Ethiopia will have to reconsider. It will have to take into account all the likely scenarios which could unfold. We'll have to wait to see, is Somalia's general going to walk his talk? Does Somalia intend to walk its talk? Or is it just barrage of criticism with hollow threats, and Somalia does not want to take any concrete action. Some people are making the president of Somalia controversial, like the Kenyan MP. I mentioned that in a statement in live chat last night. Paramalim, accusing Hassan Sheikh to be in secret alliance, in collusion with Ethiopia. Hassan Sheikh under pressure from opposition parties, from Al Shabaab. Al Shabaab is threatening as well that it will fight. It won't let Ethiopia recognize Somaliland and establish a military base in Somaliland. So let's see, will Somalia walk its talk or will it just continue issuing statements? But I see first sign of mobilization of forces from Somalia's side. I don't think Ethiopia will sit idle. You could see progress in coming days if it hasn't already started. Ethiopian forces will be quick to go to Somaliland to start their work. If it happens, what will Somalia do? Coming days very crucial. This coming 1 month very crucial for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, especially between Ethiopia, Somalia, and Somaliland. Watch the clip of Somalia's military chief, General Ibrahim Sheikh, addressing Somalia's naval officers, telling them to be prepared to defend from an external enemy which wants to reach the sea, the coast of Somalia. For the video, thank you for watching.
inaan dhaqdhaqaaq la samayn karin hadduu howlgalo waxaan rabnaa ciidanka baddu inuu dib u bilaabo shaqooyinka uu lahaa waxaan rabaa inuu mataqaanaa u diyaar garoobo shaqo culus oo hor taalla ciidanka badda waxaan rabnaa ciidanka badda in la kabo inuu dib u